We are Pioneer High School.
Located in Whittier, California, with a total enrollment of 1,400 students. 96% of the student population are Hispanic Latino. This lesson is for a class of 35 students in grades 11 through 12 chemistry. And the lesson plan will take place on week 6, day 3 of the Molecular Structures unit for a block day school schedule. Students will use technology to enhance their skills in new media literacy. They will use single molecules from a simulation platform to build molecular structures. They will also understand that these molecular structures cannot be seen by their molecular form, but can be seen in their physical form. According to NGSS and Common Core, students know that atoms combine to form molecules. They know how to evaluate multiple sources of information presented in diverse formats in order to solve a problem. And they know how to use technology to produce, publish, and update individual or shared writing products. Students and the teacher will use a chemistry textbook, a college-ruled notebook, writing utensils such as a pen, pencil, and highlighter, a paper worksheet, a laptop, a projector, and an iPad. Low-tech accommodations include a chemistry textbook and paper-based resources such as printouts. Mid-tech accommodations include a printout of the PowerPoint notes from the iPad presentation, transcripts of the video, and a printout of examples of molecular bonds while still having access to the video, presentation, and simulation to employ the same learning outcome. High-tech accommodations entail using only technology. Students will have an individual Google Doc to type notes, complete worksheets, and write prompts for all phases. Additionally, students will complete the extension on a Paint document to create their molecular bond and attach it to a Google Doc in order to complete other tasks listed. Students will then turn in all work via Google Classroom. Some learning accommodations include having extra time and breaks to complete students' work. Students will also have access to bilingual textbooks and can work alone or with their instructional aid. They'll also be given a written list of instructions if need be. Students will use social skills to collaborate with their groups. They'll also use reflective thought to recall information and use traditional literacy skills to write their responses to the prompts. They will also use critical thinking skills to complete the worksheet. Students will engage in judgment by deciphering between credible websites. They will engage in interactive simulation, multitasking, collaborative intelligence with their collaboration groups, networking, and play on their interactive simulation. Now that we've gone over the specifics, let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff. Heading into phase 1 is our motivation activity. We're going to begin class by viewing a YouTube video called Atomic Hookups. And brace yourself because the writing is coming. Students are going to be giving a brief written response in their chemistry notebooks to the prompt. Name 3 types of bonds you learned about in the video, and what was one additional thing that you learned. It doesn't even have to be science related. After the writing activity, students are going to grab a laptop to independently research some scientific definitions. They're going to be looking up covalent bond, ionic bond, polarity, polar covalent bond, non-polar covalent bond, and they're going to be recording these in Cornell note form in their chemistry notebooks. After they're done, they're going to close their laptops to prepare for the next phase. Once all the laptops are closed, the teacher is going to use an iPad to present a PowerPoint presentation on the projector to provide simplistic definitions of the ones they just looked up. The teacher is going to be providing examples of each type of bond, and the teacher is also going to demonstrate how many atoms and molecules of specific elements are used for examples of bonds while students document them in their chemistry notebook in, you guessed it, Cornell note form. The teacher is also going to encourage students to ask questions and answer open-ended questions throughout the lecture. Once students are finished listening to what their boring teacher has to say, they're going to go ahead and get into groups of 4 to collaborate in a simulation and written activity. The students are going to use a laptop to enter the PhET simulation from the University of Colorado Boulder website to build a molecule. Each member of the group is going to be assigned to a job. One person is going to be responsible for building the molecule on the simulation, while another person is going to be responsible for drawing that out onto the paper worksheet. Another person is responsible for documenting the bond's polarity and whether or not it's ionic or covalent. And the fourth person is going to be responsible for listing how many of each molecule were used to form the atomic or molecular bond. Each group member is responsible for documenting their partner's work onto their own worksheet because they're going to be turning that in at the end of class. At this point in the class, students are going to wonder why they're not able to leave yet. Oh, but they're not done. They're going to have to complete the summary and question sections in their Cornell notes. Yes, they're really going to hate me for that. We're also going to go over a class discussion. I really want to know what the students liked and what they didn't like. Before students leave class, they are going to know that they have a homework assignment due the very next time they see me. And that assignment is to pick any molecular compound that they did in their simulation. They're going to draw that compound out in their chemistry notebook and label the atoms by their acronym. For instance, if you have hydrogen, you're going to label the H in the compound. If you have carbon, you're going to label the C's in the compound. But the homework doesn't stop there. They're also going to have to color in those molecular bonds. So if you have hydrogens, you're going to be coloring those in red if you'd like. And if you have some carbons, you're going to be able to color them blue or pink or whatever color they want to color them. They're going to be listing the full names of the atoms. So on the side, they're going to have to list hydrogens, carbons, maybe some sulfur. And they're going to identify what the bond type is. Is it ionic, covalent, polar covalent? And that's all they're going to have to do inside of their chemistry notebook. All of the assignments in this lesson are going to be given a formative assessment. They're going to turn in their individual worksheets and their chemistry notebooks, as well as their homework. It's going to be assessed by completeness and accuracy, just to kind of see how much they know based on the topic that we learned on molecular bonds and atomic compounds. The lesson plan that I created is primarily focused on social constructivism and connectivism. Throughout the lesson, you've probably noticed that students are highly encouraged to work together in collaboration groups to go ahead and build upon their funds of knowledge and the knowledge that they're building on from each other. They're also using the internet to go ahead and decipher if websites are credible, and then they go ahead and build their opinions based on the accuracy of the information that they've found. Some of the strengths in this lesson plan include being able to watch videos and using the laptops to play a game, and students also get to talk to each other for more than half of the period. I noticed that students are more engaged if they're able to talk to their peers as opposed to just sitting there silently listening to a lecture all day. However, because this is a science class, students particularly don't enjoy going to science class, especially chemistry, because it's so heavily based on math. But in the wise words of Heisenberg, aka Mr. Walter White, the chemistry must be respected. Well, that concludes my Pecha Kucha lesson plan. My name is Elisa Vargas. Don't forget to keep calm and love chemistry.